Okay, so you've installed all the hardware, you've done all the things, you've sanded your helmet, you've primered your helmet, and it looks something like this. Now it's time to put it all together. There is an order to the operations. Some things you could put in right now with no issues, like the rear vent, or these front vents, which I've already installed. And in fact, I like to put these little guys in right away. So you got a left and a right, and you notice one side, the top is, the one side is not as tall as the other. So this is the short side. You can tell the height. That's how you tell left and right. And these are cool because they just pop in. So line it up, put it in the hole, and push it in. And there you go. Take it out. You just come in from the back on the inside and push it back out. And again, you can hot glue these in if you want. I wouldn't do anything more than that. They will stay in place. So there's the other side. All right, now for the complicated stuff. The parts you want to start with first, I highly recommend, are the mounts for the shroud. You've got the two side mounts and a center mount, so it's 3 pieces. You're going to use a total of 6 screws, 2 16mm M3s, 2 10mm M3s, and 2 Chicago screws, 6mm. They are for holding this on. And the reason why you want to put these on first is because if you put the ears on first, the stem for the blast shield is going to be in the way of the mount, and it's going to make it really, really hard to put on. I found that out the hard way when I built the first ones. Before you can put the center mount on, we do have to drill these holes out for 2 reasons. One, when we installed the center cap, we used construction adhesive, and that construction adhesive kind of filled these holes up. That's normal, it's not a big deal. Also, the interior cap does not have screw holes in it. And I leave those out for a reason, because there's no way to precisely get the interior cap in the same way every time. It might be slightly off, which could affect the installation of the screws. So I always just drill these out. It's not a big deal. I use my cool Hoto drill with a 9/64 drill bit on it, just 1 notch up above 1/8. And we're just going to go in here and very carefully, we're going to kind of let the existing hole guide us. Okay. And just drill these out. All right, that's it. So now we're ready to install the center mount. And for that, we're going to need some screws. So the first thing we're going to put in is this center cap, center mount, really. We need 16mm screws with the standard lock washer and flat washer. And we are going to go into these 2 holes that are right at the top of the interior cap that we just drilled, okay? So, here we go. Okay, so I got the first screw in, and what you want to do is kind of eyeball this center mount, and you can feel it against the screw. There we go. It just sat down on top of the screw, and I'm just turning with my fingers right now to just kind of get it started. The first one is the trickiest. But, okay, I'm pulling this out right now, and it's not moving, so it means I got that screw started. So now we're going to get the second one going. Okay, so I got the second screw going in the hole, and I'll just get my handy little screwdriver here. There it goes. Okay, center mount is installed. Now we'll install the right mount, which goes over here. So I've got my Chicago screw ready to go, and that's actually going to go in this lower hole. So I'll put a 5mm lock washer on the female end, and the female end goes on the inside of the helmet. Okay, it's lining up with the hole, and we're pushing in, and it should stick out just a little bit off the top. Now this Chicago screw is going to correspond with this hole right here. So the female part of the screw will come in behind here, and then you'll put the male side in there. So let's go ahead and get that started. So I like to have it like this, because this way it's easier to get the screw to go in where it needs to. And so we'll kind of line it up and set it in there, and once it's like that, then we can go ahead and tighten it down, but not all the way. We just want it to be kind of snug for right now. So I'm holding this from the inside so that this doesn't turn, and we're going to go and tighten it down, but not too much, because we got to get the other screw in. So just snug it to where it holds that in place, and now we can put the 10mm M3 in, and that's going to go into this hole up here, the top hole that's right above the ear. You can see in there. Find the Chicago screw, and then you can see this top hole right up in here is where it's going to go. Okay. All right, I see where you're supposed to go. Okay, so I'm putting in the M3 10mm screw for the right side shroud mount. And I'm going to go ahead and tighten that down, and we can tighten the Chicago screw down. And that's what it should look like when it's done. Let's go ahead and repeat this for the other side. Okay, so we've gone ahead and gotten the left side shroud mount on. And we're going to just test fit the shroud. Now that all the mounts are installed, we're just going to make sure it goes on. We will have to pull this back off to finish the ears and to install the blast shield. So you can see there's a magnet and a rectangular, or actually more accurately, a trapezoidal tab here. This is the back. This goes over this mount, and you can see there's a magnet in here that corresponds to this magnet. So we'll start there, and we'll just kind of line everything up. There we go. All right. So that's how that goes, just like that. And it seems to be working, staying put. So there it is. That's step one for assembly.